and I want something. We want out of a difficult circumstance. We want out of a problem. We want desperately to expedite good times when we're in the middle of bad times. But we have no power of that timeline. In those circumstances, we're experiencing something similar that Joseph experienced. He found himself in a place he didn't want to be, in circumstances that he didn't choose, with a timeline he had no control over. When those things take place with us, we learn to deal with disappointments. We learn to deal with the darkness of the world around us. And third, lastly, we learn to deal with delays that keep us from where we want to be. The scriptures make absolutely clear that when we wait on the Lord, we're blessed. That God's timing is not usually our timing, and that something's happening while we wait. That's true for you and me, and it was certainly true for Joseph. In chapter 40, verse 14 through 15, and then in verse 23, it says that Joseph, after he had interpreted the dreams of the cupbearer and the baker, two different things happened. For the baker, it was not so good. It was kind of like he had good news for the cupbearer and bad news for the baker. Both of them had dreams about their heads. And one of them found himself freed up and able to go back and serve Pharaoh once again, the cupbearer. But the baker found himself losing his head because it wasn't a good dream and it was his demise. When Joseph is saying goodbye to the cupbearer who's getting released, going back to Pharaoh to serve the kingdom, Joseph says this to him. He says, "When all goes well with you, remember me and show me kindness. Mention me to Pharaoh so I can get out of this prison. Because I was forcibly carried off from the land of the Hebrews, and even here I've done nothing wrong to be thrown into a dungeon." It says, the chief cupbearer, however, did not remember Joseph. Have you ever felt forgotten? Have you ever felt like someone was going to come to your rescue and they left you hanging out to dry? Have you ever felt like your ship was coming in, you could see it, but it never landed? That's Joseph's story. In fact, it tells us, the first verse of chapter 41, that after 2 full years had passed, leading us to the conclusion that even though we don't know how long it was that Joseph was in prison to this point, it was another 2 full years before Pharaoh would have a dream and the cupbearer would go, "Deja vu, I remember dreams. There's a dream guy in prison that helped me. Maybe he can help you, Mr. Pharaoh." Joseph had a delay, and sometimes we do too. Is there anything that you're wishing you were out of that you're not? Is there anything that you're enduring that you can't see the end to? Reminded of the old phrase, the light at the end of the tunnel? Well, what happens when the light at the end of the tunnel has been turned off? What do you do then when you feel like, I don't know if I'll ever get out of this? I think that certainly dungeons, circumstances we didn't choose, places we don't want to be, and a timeline we have no control over. When those kind of experiences happen to us, it teaches us to deal with delays. The truth is, no matter how long you're waiting, maybe you're waiting for your marriage to get better. Maybe you're waiting for your finances to turn around. Maybe you're waiting to get out of debt, or you're waiting for this recovery thing to really work. I don't know what you're waiting on, but if you could shift and make your mind up that what you're waiting on is God, and He's worth the wait. What you're trusting in is not circumstances, but a God that promises to work in your circumstances. A God that promises to bring whatever we've experienced to our good because we love God and we've been called according to His purposes. That's Romans 8:28. If you don't know it, it's a good one to memorize. And we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love Him not those who are perfect, not those who do all the right things, not those who are impressive, not those who look good on the outside, but those who love him and are called according to his purpose. That when you're waiting on the Lord sees you and he's doing something in you. If nothing else, he's saying, learn to wait. Waiting is akin to patience, and patience is one of the prominent, dominant descriptions of love in the Bible. 1 Corinthians 13:4 says, love is patient. Love is patient. It's the first on the list. When you and I learn to wait, we learn to be loving. Today, I don't know what you're waiting for, but I know God can use it. He can use it to do something inside of you that can only be done when you learn to wait. We who live in a world of instant gratification have got to learn the power of delayed gratification. Lord, we wait on you for your second coming. Lord, we wait on you for the character development you're doing inside of us. God, we wait on you for maybe some of the dreams that we feel like you've spoken into our hearts that we have not yet seen come true, have not yet moved to fruition. And so, Lord, we wait. Lord, help us to be attentive to what you're doing on the inside while we wait for things to change on the outside. I hope you're trusting him more, relying more deeply on his presence, because he will comfort you. His spirit will be with you no matter where you wait. I'll see you this weekend. God bless.